Good Friday morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Lance, D, Fred, David, anybody else that wants to tune in or chime in and say hi and let us know where you're located here this morning. Uh-oh, Avanice is down in Florida. That's awesome. Love that. Love that. It got cold here overnight. We had some rain that came through yesterday, and oh goodness, it dropped the temperature. We were having unseasonably cold May, and then for 2 or 3 days we had unseasonably hot May, and now we're back to unseasonably cold May. Like May should be like 80, like in North Carolina, 80 degrees. That's it. And then June and July and August, sure, hot, but awesome. Here we go. We got Evergreen, Colorado. Britt, welcome. Love it. I'm trying to give you guys some reactions here. Clovis in Antigua. I love that. Thank you for showing up again. Awesome. Yes, Sue, we did need the rain. We really do need the rain. That is true. Yeah, we're having spring in May. Yeah, it's been weird. It's either been super cold or super hot. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Keep the comments coming. I love the interaction. I'm really excited. It's Friday, Memorial Day weekend. If you were watching me last week, I had no idea that this Friday was Memorial Day weekend. But here we are. Nonetheless, I've gone ahead and I've told RC this morning we're making plans to do a few more on StreamYard, and I want to keep using this platform that you're watching on the website. We use a tool called StreamYard to do this, and I want to keep using these for a couple more weeks. But I am going to start sprinkling in some Google Meets because I do want to have that real-time interactive dialogue with you guys once in a while on certain topics. And it may be where we go a little bit deeper. You know, our brain dump sessions that we do every month, those are, well, we don't do them every month. I should say every other month. Those brain dump sessions are in a Google Meet setting. So it's very interactive, conversational, just like a Zoom or anything else. And I do want to start incorporating those into these webinars and workshops. Just because, you know, sometimes I feel like, well, I'm just lecturing, I'm just kind of preaching and teaching. And, you know, sometimes I want to know where you guys are getting stuck, right? So I want to be able to help with that, but we're going to keep doing it this format just for a couple more weeks. And the reason really for that is next weekend and the week after that, I have some travel coming up. I'm going to try to do them live, but I might have to do a pre-recorded one like I did last time. It'll be new content, just like I promise every week. But maybe as the summer starts getting here, we'll start to incorporate some more Google Meets. Or if you guys are up for it and I have some good topics planned, maybe we'll just keep doing the StreamYard on Fridays, but maybe I'll throw something else in another day of the week that we can kind of collaborate and brainstorm, if that sounds good. So anyway, I want to get started today. We're going to talk all about Google Gemini today. Google is really showing their versatility, their big tech team, their might in the space. I believe that they are really the dominant force in AI right now, from the standpoint of we can do video, we can do images, we can do chat, we can do agents, we can do automations, we can build everything together, and they're so integrated with all the tools that so many people use on a daily basis that they really are just extremely powerful. And I'm using Gemini more and more and more as I go. Notebook LM, I've talked about Notebook LM. I'm going to talk about it today a little bit more for a little bit, where, you know, is a Google product. They just had their I/O conference, and David, I saw that comment. I hope nobody got cut off from the meeting and heard incoming call. I don't have that. I don't know how that would come from here. But they just had their I/O conference. It's kind of their annual, like, where everybody gets excited because they're going to release new things and talk about what's coming. And they have some glasses coming, you know, just like Meta does. And they have a whole bunch of really new things coming out on the back end, but they were really focused on agents. AI agents are where it's at. AI agents are what, if you're not using AI, you should be afraid of to take those jobs, right? AI agents are these things that can do these tasks for you. We're going to show you some AI agents at the very basic level today that we're using. And then they also released a new video model. Anybody see my video, my commercial? If you haven't, you're going to see it in a minute anyway. Anybody, I want to know in the comments, did anybody see my commercial that I posted? I posted it in the AI for Small Business group on Facebook, and I posted it on my Facebook profile. But did anybody see it? Give me a yes or no. If you didn't see it, I'm hoping there's a bunch of no's so that I'm not going to bore anybody with the second run through. Avani saw it. Sarah saw it. Okay, so we got some that saw it. Okay. Well, hopefully everybody didn't see it. Okay, good. Thanks, D. Making me happy here. All right, good. Britt, now, perfect. I'm going to show you guys something. Now, what I want to talk about, I love it. Thanks for the comments coming in. You're about to see a complete 100% AI commercial. I used Google's, it's Gemini, so that's why it fit for this week. They released a new model, a video creation tool. It's called Omni. So if you guys have been on with me for 6 months now, almost, I've mentioned Google has VO3. RC, link for the group if you don't mind. David needs to be in the group. Thank you. Their model has been VO3 and VO3.1 for several months, like going back to VO for over a year now, and VO3 3.1 since October, November-ish. They just announced Omni. I don't know why they keep changing names. There's so many names for all these Google products. I just go back to Gemini. It's just Gemini, right? But Omni, I've never quite seen anything this powerful. I have people commenting on my Facebook profile as of this morning, telling me how good I am in front of the camera. And I've had to break their hearts and tell them that it was all AI generated. It is so good. Now, what I'm about to show you, if you're sitting there like, Jay, get to the point. I have to preface this. What I'm about to show you is not free. What I'm about to show you costs considerable amounts of money. When I say considerable amounts of money, the subscription that I pay to have access to this model is $250 a month, right? That's for the AI Ultra plan. Okay. I've been paying for this. However, with these new models, that are coming out, I was told that new pricing is coming out, and the price is coming down if you want to kind of play big in the Gemini space and get access to this. Okay. So I am saying what I'm about to show you, you're not going to go run out and there's RC putting that Facebook link in there. Thank you. You're not going to go out and just go make a video like this. It took me, I have used the studio builder called Flow. I've used that before. So I had some experience, but this is they've improved and changed and created. I think they're still rolling out new features for this. It took me all of about 12 hours to build this. Now, when you watch this, you're going to say, you did that in 12 hours, right? Because if I had to get actors and sets and scripts and production and lighting and all this, it would have taken much longer than 12 hours. And then the editing and post-production and everything else. This commercial, this 1.5-minute commercial that I'm going to show you, was all built with Google Gemini using the newest model. It would have probably been on the very cheap end, $10,000 to $15,000 production. Given where we were even 5 years ago. All right. I'm amazed at what I was able to do in 12 hours as a non-video editor with this model. So I already have it loaded. So we shouldn't have any buffering issues. It should just play just fine. It's about a minute. It's 1 minute and 36 seconds. I want to share it with you because this is kind of where we're getting to. And if you own a local business, I really want you to pay attention to this because the playing field, once again, for the time being, is even. All right. If you can afford a couple $100 a month, which most of us as business owners should be able to do it if we can see that we're going to get the return on that investment. So here we go. I'm going to play this for you. I'll be back in a minute and a half. Let me make sure. Yeah, there we go. Somewhere is a plumber who can fix my toilet before my wife leaves me. His website says he's open. The map says he's closed. His phone number to a fax machine. A fax machine! It's not their fault for people who design websites, not people who fix your air in July. I respect the hustle, Gary. I do not respect the website. This is Linda. Linda makes the best cinnamon rolls in Guilford County. Linda should not be building websites. Linda, I can't order from you. I want to order from you. Linda, please. Marcus has been building this website for 8 months. My phone gave up trying to load it. My phone. The thing I charge every single night. Gone. This is a real website with actual hours. A real phone number? Online booking?
This is Karen. 3 weeks ago, she answered 3 questions about her business. JourneyBuilder's AI studio built the rest. Now, half of Greensboro is trying to get an appointment.
Is this the place I found online?
Sure is.
I'll take 3 appointments.
That's new.
Yeah, that's JourneyBuilder. You're welcome, Karen. Let JourneyBuilder handle your busy schedule. Karen didn't hire a web designer. She didn't watch 47 YouTubes. She used JourneyBuilder's AI studio. And right now you can try the whole platform free for 30 days. Start your free trial. Build your site in the time it takes Gary to find a clip art wrench. 30 days free. No tech degree, no crying. Karen's calendar is full. Yours could be too. Gary, the free trial is still open. Somewhere is a plumber who can fix my toilet before my wife leaves me. His web. All right. How cool is that? Now, that was AI me, Jay the AI guy, which I've shown you Jay the AI guy before. This just takes it to a whole new level. So yeah, D said love it. Nice. Wow. Yes. Guys, Google is on fire right now. It is super cool. I'll tell you exactly how I storyboarded that or made it. Really, it was very, very simple. The actual creation of it, I am more than happy to do a kind of a video walkthrough tutorial as I get better at it. You know, I think if I did the walkthrough tutorial, it took me 12 hours to make the first one. Probably going to take me 8 hours to make the second one. If I continue to get better and refine that process, I'll be happy to do some tutorials. But I will give you the big overview of that because I also now have RC on my team. He's going to have me do the AI news on a daily, weekly, every other day, something basis. So you might see some videos of me coming up that are me reading cool new AI news on our pages, and we're going to use Google Omni to do that. So we're gonna generate, figure out what the latest news of the day is, new tools, hot items, and then we've cloned me basically. I'm cloned. I don't know how scary that is, but if we can get good content out with that, then I'm happy to do it. But basically all we did is I created a script. I used the Harmon brothers. If you guys have ever seen the ads for chat books or Squatty Potty, which is always a fun one, they do very funny internet YouTube style commercials, and they've helped build brands. They're very, very great writers and producers of comedic video, viral videos. I use that style, their style, with a stinger at the end, and I went into Claude and I asked Claude, I need this script. I want it in the style of the Harmon brothers, should feature Jay, the AI guy. And we're talking about Journey. I told it what I wanted. And then it gave me each scene. And then I had to go build the scenes in the Google Flow Builder, which is where I could use Omni. But what I'm going to share with you now is inside of regular Gemini. And I'm going to share my screen to go into regular Gemini. I'm going to show you guys some things that you can do today. All right. I appreciate the compliments on the commercial. I'm going to share with you Gemini. If I can share my screen. There we go. All right. So Gemini.google.com. If you go there, you'll see something along the lines of this. Now, I don't know on the free plan. Let me double check. Yeah, on the free plan, yeah, they are giving you, I believe on the free plan, you can, and you guys could check this for me, double check. If you go to Gemini.google.com and you go to create a video, I believe you can do, I think you get certain, maybe 3 or 4 a day that you can use this new model, Omni. Okay, it'll tell you, try a template or describe a video in chat, create with Omni. If you see create with Omni, I'm not sure if it's available. I feel like they are giving free users the ability to kind of try it out. Now, you're not going to be able to necessarily build the actual like a commercial, all those scenes. I guess you could do each scene, but then you'd have to slice it and dice it together, where the Google Flow Builder is like a video editor on Google. But what you can do, if you come into Gemini, you can, create image, which we're going to do in Nano Banana, but create video. Sorry, I already had it. So create video. And then you can also choose if you want it portrait, which is very popular on social media these days because TikTok is portrait and Instagram Reels. You want a lot of people like that vertical portrait mode, and then landscape is more of your YouTube and historically Facebook and more of that cinematic horizontal feel. Heather always yells at me, just why don't you just say like vertical and horizontal? And I use portrait and landscape. Who knows? But anyway, and you can just tell it what kind of video you want to make. One of the cool things that Google Gemini allows you to do is you can also use a reference image. So if I pull up an image, let me grab one real quick. Let's see if I do give me a second here. I know I have some images that we can animate. That's not a good one. All right, I got it. I should have had that one ready. I wasn't thinking about that. Let me go to, where's my brand assets? There we go. All right. Team J. Okay, here we go. Got it. So let's try. Let's try this picture of the orange background. So you don't have it on the free. Okay, so Omni's not on the free. So, but here's the thing. You should have the 3, like the VO version, which is VO3. That is, that's going to be plenty. I thought if you were on the Google, if you're on Google free, if you're on a Google Workspace account, anybody on a Google Workspace account, it might give them a couple of videos free with Omni. But even the free version, you should have video and it would be VO3. Oh, you can't create video on the free version, Britt? I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. I thought you could do videos and images, but I just thought you were limited. Well. All right. Well, I'm going to move on quickly from this demo then, because I want to be able to show you guys things that you can do. Let's describe this and we'll do it. Maybe if anything, I don't get a bonus from Google to sell you guys on Google's paid versions, but it might be worth it. You guys know I use Claude an awful lot, and I'm still going to use Claude. I used Claude this morning. I'm going to show you guys something I did with Claude here in a bit. I use Claude to do a lot of my research that I bring into Google. Oh, okay. Dee said she's on free and can create a video. Okay, good. So videos are okay. It's just not Omni. Okay. I think we're clear on that. All right, perfect. Okay. Let's go to, we'll just say, oh, you know what? I also need not Omni, right? Okay, perfect. I think, can I do? Yeah. So these are going to be kind of more basic videos when you do them inside of the Gemini search or Gemini builder, I should say. So you can, one of the things I just did, you know what, instead of generating this one, let me show you some that I did that I thought were really funny recently. And this wasn't Omni. This was, and this will give you just the VO3. So this was pre-Omni. My mom was at my house. It was Mother's Day weekend. My mom came up from Wilmington. My daughter is 10. You guys I've talked about Mackenzie on here before. And Mackenzie knows what Gemini can do because I've been trying to teach her as much AI as possible. And Sarah, sorry, yes, I did digress. I will come back to Claude. And we generated a video of my mom doing something she would never, ever do. Now, it didn't get her voice because why would it? They don't know her voice. All I did was put a picture up. Okay. Here's my mom at my house. It's on my back deck. Show her skydiving over the Caribbean. Now, the funny thing about this video, let me play the video and then I'll explain the funny thing about this video. You guys will see it immediately, but here we go. Wait, am I sharing audio? Yes, I am, I believe. Okay.
Woohoo! Oh my God, look at this. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 11 seconds before she plummeted to her death without the parachute that they forgot to give her in that video. So again, prompting, right? Garbage in, garbage out, garbage in, hallucination out, right? Welcome, Kira Paris. And you made one. Awesome. But hysterical. And I need to go in this mode again. If you just make a prompt that says to show her skydiving over the Caribbean, you're likely to get her like leaping out of a plane, plunging to her awfully violent death, which is a very morbid thing to think about, especially being that it's my mom. So again, a good prompt. Show this woman with an orange parachute floating over the sky, or show the parachute opening and then her floating through the sky, and have her say this. Use a camera angle that shows her from the left or the right, and give it as much detail as possible, but also give it enough that it's going to be realistic, right? Also, thanks, RC, for dropping today's resource PDF. I'm kind of off script, but the resource should give you enough about Gemini and what you can do with the different plans, and a lot of the tips. And then we also talk about how you can wire it into JourneyBuilder. Today, I just really want to show a lot more and show you guys some things that we're doing, more of a show and tell. Now, Sarah, can I finish my thought if I use Claude to generate the research that I bring into? Yeah, I generate the stuff in Claude a lot of times, and then I bring it into Google Gemini, right? Because I think Claude still does a better overview and formulates and researches and strategizes better right now than Gemini. If I were to create a PRD, a product research document, or product requirements document. I always forget what PRD is. The PRD is what you need. That's going to tell you everything you need to create, or everything that you should have to create whatever it is: an app, a website, online calculator, a lead magnet. A PRD is kind of the product requirements document, everything it needs, right? That is what it is. And I use Claude for those. And I think Claude is just a better thinker. Now, 6 months from now, am I still going to think that? I don't know. Google is catching up in that area, and they far surpassed all the other models, I believe, in this area, video and agentic AI. So that's, I hope I got you back on that. Yeah, D, the resource PDF for last week. It is on the website. We can get it, and maybe RC can get it and put it in here from last week. Last week when we did it on Claude, that will give you that one. Yeah, Kira. Yeah, I only use Claude. Okay, me too. I don't only use Claude. I use Claude predominantly for a lot of things. But what I've been finding, and last week's webinar was on Claude. I've been moving more towards Gemini because of a few reasons. And I still use Claude every single day. So don't get me wrong. It's not, I love it. It's incredible. Probably still my best friend when I talk about AI being my best friend. I go to Claude first for everything that I want to do, because Claude helps me formulate my thoughts. Right? So Claude is still the first place I go. What I'm finding, though, is the output after that, I often find myself going back into Gemini. And I'll give you an example of that right now. Yeah. Meg says, random, I love Notebook LM. Google, right? It's a Google product. It's a Gemini product. So yeah, you guys know I love Google Notebook LM too. And that's where all of my Claude stuff and a lot of my Gemini stuff comes from. So yeah, there we go. Claude, your AI business brain. Link to the record. Yeah, guys, let's just if you guys ever need any webinars that I've done, if you haven't seen our new website, jtheaiguy.com, it's been up a few months. Just go to jtheaiguy.com. You can register for any of our webinars. You can even go back and register. You have to register still, but you can go back and watch any of our past webinars. You just have to click the register button, put in your email, and you can watch any webinar that we've done on demand. All right. So hope that helps. Sue, Claude is best for code. Gemini is tops for image video, for most image video. Yeah, 100%. I agree there. Oh, and there's jtheaiguy.com. Hot dog. Yep, Meg, see? Now, please don't stop showing up because you're like, I'll watch it later. Like, I'm not going to do these if we don't have anybody live. So, Meg and Sarah and Dee, and Jack and all the people that are on here today, Avanies, don't just make sure you're bailing me out here. I need live eyeballs. And I hope you guys are sharing the webinars with other people. Like, share the registration link, share what we're talking about. I've had some really great feedback on this stuff. So tell others. Don't keep this information for yourself. I'm doing this for you guys to share what I've learned with you freely, voluntarily. I could just sit and hermit all day and just build really cool things and do it for my own benefit and gain. And while I need to do that, I also believe in delivering a lot of value. So I do these because I love to do them, really, honestly. And I love to help people learn. So yeah, very cool. All right. Yes. Perfect. All right. Good deal. Tell so many people. I love that. All right. So I'm going to show you guys something else now. I might need to hide my, not my mom skydiving. I might need to hide my QR code in the upper left here. Let me see if I can find that and do that. Overlay. I thought it was an overlay. I'm missing it here. More? Nope. Banners. Nope. Widgets. Yes, found it. Okay. All right, there we go. Now you guys can see more of my screen. What I want to talk about for the next couple of minutes are gems. If you guys are using ChatGPT, or have been, and last week we showed you, if you've been using ChatGPT and you want to move to Claude, we showed you inside of Claude where you can import all of your ChatGPT stuff into Claude so that you don't lose all that stuff you've been working on for the last 2 years. We showed you that. So go back and watch the webinar. We showed you where to find it. It's in your Claude settings. But gems, you can see it here on the left-hand side. It's got a little gem icon, right? Gems are like those custom GPTs. I did verify. You can create gems on the free plan. You don't need a paid plan to create a gem, according to Google themselves. So we did look at that. And so gems are these really useful, I call them like micro apps that you can build, that this way, every time you go into a chat, you don't have to repeat yourself. They're kind of like projects in Claude, and they're very much like custom GPTs in ChatGPT. What you do with a gem, you come over here in gems and you click new gem and you give it a name, right? Now that name can be whatever you want, as long as it's not, let me turn off my dash lane here. You can call your gem whatever you want. Let's do Jack Clemens is in here. Let's say hi to Jack today. We'll call his the Navigate Agency Gem. Right? If you guys don't know Jack, Jack is in Greensboro area and he's an insurance broker. I've known him for several years. He is a JourneyBuilder customer of mine, client of mine. So maybe there's a little bit of preferential treatment here. And just a all around great guy. If you guys know a mortgage broker, I would love for you to connect that mortgage broker with Jack. Just putting it out there. If you know one, you should get in touch with Jack. He loves working with mortgage brokers, and he's really good. They're good referral partner. So there's my plug for Jack. I didn't tell you I was going to do that. Lance Lynn, I hope you'll come back another time, and I hope you're not the former major league pitcher Lance Lynn. Actually, I hope you are. That would be really cool, but nice to have you on here today. All right. Navigate Agency Gem. What does it do? Creates branded content. Right. So what you would do then, I'm not going to build out, I can't build out the Navigate Agency Gem because I don't have access to everything that belongs to Jack here. And I'm going to show you one that's already built in a minute. But then you would give it all the instructions of what you want this thing to do. Like, give it all the instructions. Like, every time I run this, it needs to know this or do these things. You can say, always ask 3 questions, always, reference this. It'll make more sense in a second when I show you the other one. And then you can also say, what is that default tool? Maybe you want to make a branded image creator. So you give it all your reference images and you say that every time you use this, I want it to create an image. This is just my image creator. So this is my image creator for Navigate Agency social media images. Then you don't have to tell it that when you go into a new chat every time and say, I want to create an image that has this, and let me upload my reference logos and everything else. And you put that all in here in the instructions. You can even add files for your gem to use as a brain. Similar to a skill in Claude. Yeah, it is. It is very similar to a skill in Claude. Yes. Absolutely, David. That's a good question. Clovis. Join the Facebook group. We'll put that link back in there. And Heather, if you don't mind, just go and check if anybody's waiting for access. That would be wonderful. All right. We'll get you in that group, Clovis. Promise. Hopefully by the time I'm done yapping. All right. When you want to put in knowledge, okay, you can add files from your Google Drive, files from your computer or from Google Drive. You can also import code. I've never done it, don't know a lot, but if you had a code base of things, you could import code, and then you could like query your app. But also look at this, they added Notebook LM. So we build our company brains in Notebook LM. And if you guys are a little bit lost when I say that, you might have to go back a few weeks, but Notebook LM is a Google product that we talk about building your brain in a box, right? It's your company brain. And you can even connect notebooks as knowledge for this gem. So if you have all of your branded documents, all your marketing documents inside of Notebook LM, a notebook in Notebook LM, now you can have your gem reference it whenever you search. And basically you're creating your own custom search tool. I think they're incredible. I think gems are just absolutely incredible. So I'm going to, Jack, I'm sorry, but I know that you have a notebook with some stuff and you could build this yourself. I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you guys one that I built called Jay the AI Guy Brand Builder. Okay. So it's the brand brain. I trained it, gave it all the stuff, gave it my instructions. I can even show you the instructions that I gave it. And as a matter of fact, why don't I show you the instructions before I start chatting with it so you guys know what's in there? All right. Now, I went, oh, you can upload the notebook into the gem, basically. You can connect the notebook to the gem. I didn't have to upload it to it. D, if you pick the, D was asking if you guys can see that. I'll put it up on the screen. Do you upload the notebook into the gem? No, if you go to the knowledge, sorry, I think you can only do it when you first connect it. Yeah, you have to first connect it. After that, I think you have to add it. Yeah, you can connect it at first because that's what. Let me go back to a new gem. I think you can only do it at the beginning. Oh, no. You connect it. The reason I can't connect the notebook is because I've shared my notebook with someone else, or I wanted to share, but you can't share the gem if you have a notebook connected to it. So you can't let somebody else use your gem if there's a notebook connected to it. See how I could share my gem here, right? So I shared it with RC. Even though RC has access to that notebook, it would not allow me to share my gem because I had a notebook connected to it. But you don't have to upload your notebook. When you're building your gem, if I go back to new gem and I go to the knowledge, add files for my gem to reference, and I click plus, I can click on Notebook LM, and it's going to give me all of my notebooks, and I can pick and choose which notebook I want to connect to this gem. Okay. Can it add a reference as knowledge? I don't know if it can. You can tell it in the instructions. I don't know if it can reference a website. But if your website is in the notebook, in Notebook LM, if all the information from your website is there and then you connect that, then yes, by proxy, it has access to it. Right? Cool. All right. So yeah, so the reason my gem that I'm showing you, I can't connect the notebooks now is because I've shared the gem outside of me. All right. But what I can do here is I can come in to Gemini. Now I'm talking with Gemini, but its information is what I've trained it, what I've given it. And I can say, tell me what instrument Jay often uses in his marketing references. We'll just test it. I don't know if I even have this in the instructions. And by the way, I built the instructions about my brand for the gem where I put in the instructions. I built all of that in Claude. A little hint. Why? Because all my stuff is in Claude. All my strategy, all my brand, all of these webinars, everything that I've built in Claude projects. I have 2 projects that have basically everything that I am doing, everything I'm planning on doing. Like it is my planner. And I just said, I need to build a Google Gem. Give me a complete brand overview. And then I took it and I took that and I went into another project that has kind of my planning. And I said, here's my Google Gem instructions. What you know about this project, improve it, make it, change it, update it, fix it. And then I got the instructions. So the instructions are very long. But let's just see if it got this. I don't know if it put this in there. But I'm going to ask what instrument that I often reference in my marketing. And let's see if it knows this. What's cool about this is I still have access to all of the Gemini tools that I can do. Like I can create an image from this. I can create a video from this. There it is. Based on the brand profile you provided, Jay's instrument of choice is the ukulele. The guidelines specific highlight that he is a punk rock loving, ukulele playing, straight talking digital marketing vet. It definitely adds a cool, authentic, and human edge to his personal brand. Perfect. So now I can ask it about pretty much anything. Create me a social media post, create me an email response to this email, paste in the actual email. It will write it in my voice. That's why I shared it with RC. RC does a lot of our communications through direct messages on social media, and also creates a lot of social posts. So he's going to be able to just respond in my voice, right? When you have an assistant, that's what you can do. But if I hit the plus sign, I can create an image, I can create a video. There's lots of different types of things. I can even upload references and reference files. But I could just say, I don't really have a good one to say right now, but create a social post for Jay's Friday webinars for LinkedIn. I should say alignable because I'm always on Alignable, but we'll do LinkedIn. Right, and it will very quickly do that. We can also create images. But what I didn't have to say is, let me tell you a little bit about Jay, and type all that out to give it reference, to give it a good prompt. So you're basically putting all those instructions in your gem, and then it's reusable. And you can just keep coming back and using different chats. And here's a really good post, right? Right, I just said right. I always say right. You already know the problem, right? Like, it talks like me. It knows me. It understands my voice. It's analyzed my videos. It's analyzed my website, analyzed all my documents, and it writes exactly how I would write. And I don't have to stay in this particular chat. After I chat with it, I go to gems. There it is. So it'll be in my recent chats. Jay's marketing instrument, ukulele. And you can rename your chats. You can, or pin them to the top, but you could rename them. It's going to pull the name from the first thing we talked about, like the first answer it gave. I could rename it and say, Jay branding chat. But when you come in to use the gem the next time, it's going to have your recent chats with it, but you can start a new chat with it. And again, it knows everything already. It's like that knowledge that's already in there. So in that sense, it's like a Claude skill or a project that has artifacts and references to it. Right? You don't have to keep telling it the same thing over and over again. One of the other gems that I built was a visual image creator. So by default, I made it images. Okay, so when you come in, it's saying, hey, my job is to build you an image. And I can say, create Jay teaching a Zoom webinar, or teaching AI on a Zoom webinar. All right, and what this will do, by the way, the new models and the update, it creates images so much faster now. Images and videos are just probably 2 to 5 times faster. And I just think they're continuing to get better. Now, as I say that and doing a tech demonstration, I always panic because it's probably going to crash and burn. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be great. Here we go. There you go. Now, my Jay the AI guy is always, you guys have seen this. It's my comic, my cartoon avatar, and that's what I trained it to do. So it's going to make this using that avatar. It's not going to use like me. It's going to use my Jay the AI guy mascot, right? I like the cartoon style, and it nailed it. That's perfect, right? So, and then of course you can click on any of these images and you can save them, download them as full size. You can now draw on them and doodle on them and write on them. Lots of different, they're adding more editing capabilities to these images as well. But that's pretty good and pretty fast for that, right? But I didn't have to go tell it or upload the reference image. It's just there. It's in the gem. So that's how you can continue to reuse what you want to reuse. Gemini is wonderful for that, right? Audio, video. I've shown you guys Notebook LM in the past. It's a good way to organize all of your company documents into these individual brains. We call it brain in a box, and we have the different notebooks. I'm going to skip on the Notebook LM part for time. I might come back to it. I want to show you guys some of the new things that's available. If you use Gmail for a workspace, I want to show you something that they've added. And I, again, believe that some of this is only if you're on Workspace. But if you guys use Google Workspace, this part is really for you. If you're using Docs, Sheets, what's the other? Slides, Gmail, right? Any of the kind of Google Workspace standard applications, Google has incorporated Gemini into all of them. But my favorite, the most useful, is going to be, right, is inside of Gmail, there's now an Ask Gemini feature. All right, I'm going to show you a few things we can do with this. I asked it, what can Gemini do in Gmail? So some of the things you can do is summarize an entire email thread. So if you want to just quickly, hey, summarize every interaction I've had with this sales prospect or lead, right? Or summarize all the emails we've had in the last 30 days with this customer. Summarize the meeting transcripts that I've had. Draft an email to this person or suggest responses. And now Gemini's even putting in those response areas, like it'll give you a suggested reply that's generated by Gemini. Google is working really hard at getting the communication and the messaging as good as really Claude has been for a while. I don't think ChatGPT has ever been really good at writing personally, but Google's getting there. You can look for emails. You can find information from your Google Drive files if you have Google Drive connected, right? Especially, again, on Workspace. One of the things that's also really cool is like, figuring out and labeling and organizing your emails. But one of the things you could do is web searches in your prompt. And one of the things that you can do now is like, find me all my flight information and help me with my itinerary, right? That will help you about a trip. This one, I don't know if Studio is in anybody's account, but this is another reason why I like paying Google and using all their AI tools. This is a new thing that we've been doing. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I can't. Do more in Studio. So Google has released Studio. I can activate 1900 miles with my advantage if I do this, but I already pay Google Workspace. So, by the way, if you sign up for Google Workspace and you have American Airlines points, get the American Airlines Advantage widget. And if you pay Google, they're going to get 1900 miles. So I don't qualify. I don't know how to make that go away. Don't show this at the store. Activate later. Okay, there we go. I think I have some American Advantage Chrome extension that tells me if I'm going to, if I get miles for purchasing certain things. But what I've done, this new Studio is really kind of where Google is going. Everything's becoming more agentic. Let me run tasks for you while you do other things in your life. So some of the things that you can do for right now are, notify me about urgent emails. That's great. Daily summaries, labeling emails, auto add email attachments to Drive. So if somebody sends you an attachment, just add it to Google Drive. You can even then filter that. Notify me about urgent emails, messages with a keyword, meeting summaries. And this is all with Google Meet, which I love. I've been using this a lot more. I'm actually going to get rid of my Fathom note taker, the AI note taker that's in the meetings. Likely going to be canceling that. It's about $15 a month, but I'm getting that in my workspace. Creating tasks. So if you're a real Google user here, this is awesome. I'll show you one of the things that we're doing though that I love. There's a couple things, and I'll show you where I get geeky. But one of the things that you guys would know is I want to get my AI news briefs daily. So what I did is I said weekdays at 8 a.m. I don't know why Mondays is here as well, but weekdays at 8 a.m. And, I have it weekdays. Yeah. So it repeats weekdays at 8 a.m. I have it going for a year. And what it does is I say the date and time is this, and I prompt it. Give me a quick update as I start my workday. Keep the updates locked to just what happened in the last 24 hours. I'm interested in Google Workspace AI trends, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Notebook LM, and agents, and other AI trends that are broadly interesting and recent. So use this context to make below instructions more relevant. I talk only include AI news for today. What are the top headlines? Reread the output and append the article links so I can go read more. Right? I always get a link to go learn more about it. Stick to the facts. Don't add additional commentary or opinions. Ensure the headlines are... So I have that, and then it notifies me in Google Chat, right? I use Google Chat all the time. Our team uses it. It's an alternative to Slack, right? We use it inside. And then I don't know what the decide is here. This is new. Have Gemini report if your condition. This is new. When we built this wasn't a step. I'll have to go look at that later. All I had was on a schedule, ask Gemini, notify me in chat. And every day I get this, and I'll show you what it looks like in my Gmail box in the chat. I'm in a fantasy baseball league. So I said, hey, if some new prospect gets called up to the big leagues, called up, promoted, contract selected, making MLB debut, I need to know. Let me know. I need to see if it's somebody worth looking at for my fantasy team. You guys are probably like, okay. But it's just something else you can do. Let me know if a flight to Greensboro to Dallas drops below, $325, right? Or something, right? Or track these flights, right? Google has flight tracker, but now you can do it right in here as well. So then inside of my Gmail, over on the left, I have mail, I have chat, and I have Google Meets. My chat, right? Here you'll see 809, 806, 804, 802. News headlines around the world. Here's my AI news briefs daily. And this is what it looks like. Today's top AI news. Anthropic's new small business tool, Claude Invoice Chaser. By the way, if you hadn't heard about that one, I think I mentioned it last week. Not going to digress too much, but really, really cool. I connected Claude with QuickBooks, and I can now ask questions about my bookkeeping. It's very, very cool. And they don't have like login information. It's just a connection, API connection, but I can query it. I don't need to go into QuickBooks Online. New AI advisory practice playbook. That was something that was sent to me inside of my email. And then we found that. So it's also giving me AI news based on what it found inside my Gmail accounts as well. The other one was AI news briefs daily, news headlines, general world news, AI deepfake case reserve, global tensions, New York City storms. So it's just some general news. AI industry and releases, Google and Anthropic. Anthropic got a really big person added to their board. For research, he was with OpenAI and Tesla, so they stole him. But now he's on Anthropic. Google Gemini Blitz. I talked about this at the beginning. Recent AI news recaps mentioned the Google I/O Gemini Blitz regarding new model updates, which I started this webinar with, is some of the new ones. And then I'm a New York sports fan. So I've got my Yankees news, my Knicks news, my Jets news. And out of those three, the only one that I'm really happy about today is my Knicks. So if you follow sports, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right. So that's how Google is using Gemini inside of Gmail. Next, I want to go into a Google Doc. Okay. And anywhere you're in a Google place, Google app, you should see the Ask Gemini option if you go into the upper right. And, what can Gemini do in Google Docs? Well, that's a great question. I'm so glad you prompted me to ask that. So we've had it write content. I need to create a playbook for this thing, or a blog post outline for this thing. It's really good at getting general formats. I need a meeting agenda format for something. So, but you can also now generate audio from your documents. You know how we can do that in Notebook LM? You can use them in your Google Docs now. So if you have a Google Doc, you can just say inside of that doc, you can say generate audio I can listen to. Just like you do the audio overview in Notebook LM, it's now available inside of Google Docs. You can also use a gem. So if you have a gem, you can now use chat with that gem. Well, it's not going to work because I don't have anything in this content. But actually, can you write out the instructions? I don't know if it's going to be able to do this from my Google Gem J. What was that one called? Jay the AI guy. Let's see. Jay the AI guy brand builder. Let's see what it'll do here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's here. Okay, they're designed to ensure all content is written in the authentic, energetic, practical voice of JVix. Here are the key components. Core voice. So it went to my gem, pull this all in, got all my voice attributes, what I like, what I don't like. And now I can say, can you generate a summary and add it to this doc? By the way, you can use Gemini inside, slides and sheets as well, Google Sheets. It should start writing, I believe. It might write it over here. Oh no, it can't because the text is current. So yeah, so you have to have content on your doc, and then you can actually integrate the two. Yeah, you have to have some text on here. So you can also, though, add sources from Drive. You can, everything is commingled now. Everything is commingled. I'm going to come look at chat real quick, and I'll come back over to Gems. Let me come back in here and see you guys again somewhere. Here we go. Okay. So let me see if we got some questions now. This is amazing. All right. Suggestion for those of us that don't use Gmail for your business email. Abanice, do you want me to give you the really nice Jay is a super nice guy answer? If you're using, I will do that. If you use Outlook or another tool, if you're using Microsoft, Copilot is doing a lot of similar things. I don't believe they're doing it as well, but Microsoft is closely tied with OpenAI. So I know that Copilot now has notebooks. It's not anywhere near Notebook LM, but they do have the ability to do notebooks. I believe they've put Copilot into all the apps, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office. If you do, Clovis, go Nix. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Thanks. If you're not using Gmail, a lot of apps, a lot of the AI tools, especially Claude, have connections to different services now. You might hear it called an MCP, and I'm not going to go into an MCP today. MCP is it's like there's APIs and MCPs, and I can go through alphabet soup with the abbreviations, but there are ways that you can integrate tools together. right? So you might be able to automate certain things from your email, and a lot of your email programs are now incorporating some AI functionality to them as well. So I think no matter what you use, but I would be more than happy to do some research and look into helping you figure out specifically some things you could do with whatever program you're using, but for a different webinar. But with Gemini, they're very integrated into itself. It's very an ecosystem all into its own, and they really want you to be able to do everything you can do in Claude or ChatGPT or Gamma or HeyGen or all the things we've been talking about. Google is trying to be able to do it all, right? And I personally like the all-in-one system as long as it's continuing to innovate and as long as it's continuing to be good. Like, I was using HeyGen and still have a HeyGen account, but we were using HeyGen for tons of stuff to build videos, my avatar videos. Until 2 days ago, when you saw what I was able to build, or 3 days ago, you saw what I was able to build with that commercial. Blows away anything I ever did with HeyGen. So it's like, I'm paying this much for HeyGen, but I get this with this one subscription of Google that encompasses everything else I have. No brainer, right? So you have to think about, like, how do you know what you're going to spend your money on? But I definitely feel like if you're not investing in the AI tools that make sense at this time, you're getting left in the dust. So there's a lot you can do for free, but my goal of all of this to show you guys is that every week I'm showing you something different, something new, because my goal is that you're going to see that thing or that platform or that framework or that method or something that sticks, and you're going to be like, I don't mind paying for this because it's going to help me get ahead. It's going to help me do what I couldn't do yesterday. It's going to help me train my team. It's going to help me market my business. It's going to help me create more content. Going to create video. It's going to go out and do work for me on my behalf. It's going to answer all of my incoming messages. It's going to answer my phone calls after hours. All these things are, I'm trying to show you. And actually next week, we're talking about agents again. I'm going back to AI agents for chat and voice. We're going to talk about those. How do you build them? Obviously, we're going to show you inside of JourneyBuilder, 30-day free trial to JourneyBuilder if anybody wants that. And, so we'll be showing you how to build those and set those up next week. So we do have a question coming in, and then there's a couple more things I want to show you as we wrap up today. Adding guardrails to prevent leaking sensitive information when incorporating Gemini into your Google Docs. If you're using Google Workspace, you're protected with your information. I don't believe that Google is training any models that come from your docs. I would double check the Google terms of service there, but my understanding is that when you're on a Google Workspace account, you have levers that you can pull inside your Google admin for your workspace that shows and you give permission to what can and can't be public. I know every time I go into the admin panel in my Google Workspace, there are more permissioning things that I didn't see the day before. Yesterday, it took me forever just figuring out how I was going to give RC access to Gemini Ultra, and we had to get him his own plan under our workspace, which was a whole nother story, but worth it to me. So, but there was a lot of permissioning that had to take place. And so I wouldn't overly be concerned. Now, if you're using Gemini to search your docs or using it in your docs, I believe that I don't know if you can prevent leaking sensitive information. What do you have in your Google Docs that's sensitive? If it's on a free Google account, I would be careful, but check on that. I know as a Google Workspace admin, I feel pretty protected. in what I have in there. So I hope that answers your question, David. It was a really good question. Adding guardrails, I think go into the workspace admin. There are guardrails in place already for that. And if you and check your settings and make sure that they are turned on. But again, you can prevent people from doing things. Now, with that being said, how do we put in guardrails for anything to prevent leaks? Leaks happen all the time. We read about hacking and cybersecurity and crime all the time. Do I go into a Google Doc and put my bank account information or all of my passwords? Nope. Never have, never will. As a matter of fact, and if you guys do this and you feel like I'm calling you out personally, I apologize, but I hope it's a very stark warning. If you guys are working with a web developer or a graphic designer or a bookkeeper, right? Which I highly suggest every business owner work with a bookkeeper. If you guys are emailing your passwords to them through Gmail or even texting, not really a good idea. All of that stuff is not secure, right? So that's just exposed out in the open. So if you're emailing a password, stop. Please, for the love of everything, stop emailing passwords. There are other ways to securely get it. I would much rather you say it to me over the phone if you have to give me a password for something. There are more secure ways to do it. There's a lot of online online password keepers, and a lot of them you can send secure notes to people. I would be using some type of encryption to send anything. Now, I'm also very careful when I'm in Google Meets about what we put in the chat, right? It actually made me think today about something else that we were doing. But I always make sure nothing's recording, nothing's transcribing. I'm in a Google Workspace, so anything that's saved at the Google Workspace, could somebody hack it? I'm sure there's hackings taking place all the time. So just do things with caution. I hope that helps. All right. I got to show you guys one or two last things before we wrap up on Gemini for today. I hope that these things have been helpful and that you're able to see some of the fun things that you can do. If you have the app, or if you don't have the app, I don't know why I still have that pulled up. If you don't have the app on your phone, the Gemini app, go ahead and get it. It's great. I mean, it's so much fun to use it just to do different things. And you can talk with it too. I don't know if I think my microphone will just copy things. I don't know if I can have the chat like I can on the phone. I can chat with Gemini on, I don't know if this will do it with the orb. Nope, it's just going to take what I'm putting in there and then search it. Images, yeah. So the other thing I want to go back into was Notebook LM, because I know I referenced it and it is part of Google Gemini. I showed you where it connects to your gems and your chats. I can, if I'm just going to chat with Gemini, one of the options I have now is notebooks. I can connect my notebook to a chat with Gemini. Okay, so you can upload files out of Drive. So it doesn't even have to be in a gem. You can just use your notebooks just to have a general chat. So if you don't think it's going to be something you're reusing over and over again, you don't need a gem for it, you can use that. Canvas is really cool. Canvas is kind of their coding tool, also their Gamma competitor and Claude competitor. That you can turn slides into PowerPoints, and it can create them into PowerPoints or Google Slides. And then Deep Research uses, was it Deep Research or Deep Think? There's a new one. Deep Think just came out. Haven't used that yet. You can now create music. You can make actual songs with Gemini, right? It's called Lyria. It's really powerful. I was using a different one called Suno for a while, but I just don't use it enough. But yeah, create music, give it lyrics, create your own song, create your own jingle, right? Don't be surprised if you see me posting a jingle very soon for our business. So, all right, I'm going to go into Notebook and then we're going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, something maybe I started down and abandoned, want me to go back and show something else, let me know now. But I'm going to go into Notebook LM real quick. All right. So let me just show you a few things that we've, if you haven't seen Notebook LM, most of you have that I see active in the comments because you've been on webinars before. This is a Google product that is very secure, very locked down to just your own account. As a matter of fact, you can't share a notebook with anyone unless they're in your same organization under Google Workspace. So I can't create a notebook in here and then share it with Avanice or David. All right. I can only share it with Heather and RC and Ryan from my team. You can create outputs from it. And I teach people in companies. I did one with a company called Welcome Home Healthcare the other day. I did a whole Notebook LM presentation. If you guys need corporate training on how you can use this to build your company AI knowledge base, I'm your guy. Let's have a chat about that. We've been doing a lot more corporate trainings lately, and I am available for those. So if you know somebody who needs to train their team on how to implement AI, please keep me in mind or share my name with people, and that would be wonderful. But we tell people to break things into 6 different notebooks, and this is all in your reference guide today, your quick start handout that RC posted earlier. 6 notebooks. You have your marketing notebook, your sales notebook. We have a, here we go. So you have your marketing, you have your sales, you have your research, your leadership, your HR, sales, research, leadership, and your operations notebook. Those are your 6. You should create a notebook, a separate notebook in Notebook LM. So if you're not familiar with what is a notebook, why do I need a notebook? What does a notebook do? A notebook gives you a few things. First of all, it allows you to add your own sources. So think of it like this. You're creating your own ChatGPT or your own Gemini or your own Claude with just your information. It's called source grounding. And it's all built by Google. It's all built backed on Gemini. So the chat is all Gemini. So all of it is in Gemini. You can add your sources, whatever those are. You can add PDFs. You can add YouTube videos. You can connect your Google Drive. You can copy and paste text. You can search the web. You can do quick research. You can even get deep research. When you're building your company notebooks, I have a whole reason why you shouldn't use the web sources in your notebooks for your company. Obviously, because we want it grounded in just certain sources. And so what you want to do here, you can upload your sources and you get, I think it's 50 on a free plan, 600 on a paid plan, but you'll probably want to have 50 sources. And then you put these sources in these documents, these assets. And then you can, once you have the sources, you can choose to chat with all of your sources or just, one. And I've actually broken this up. There's a lot of sources in here. But I could say I only want to chat with my brand guide, right? And now let's talk about the brain in the box, the cortex and frameworks. Okay, now I can say, give me a 3-sentence overview of the selected sources, or the company cortex, or the brain in the box, right? Did I not put selected? I put sected sources, selected. Right, so I only have 8 of my sources selected. I don't have all of them selected. If I close these up, you'll see that I have sources, and this is a new labeler, labels your sources so that it kind of groups them and organizes them. So here it is, 3-sentence overview. Source details my brain in a box methodology, a 5-pillar framework designed to help small businesses transform scattered institutional knowledge into a centralized AI-driven operating system. system brings all of it in, and then our JourneyBuilder platform automates the marketing and operations based on this data. And now I can take this and I could take just these sources and I can create a podcast from it, a slide deck from it, a video overview. And I've done some of that already with some other sources, but some of those things are like AI solutions for local business. So it created a full infographic. I don't love some of the images it used. I'd have to redo this one. But it gave me a full infographic, at least a good idea. I might regenerate it, of what the brain, why the brain in the box is essential if you own a business, like implementing Notebook LM. Also, I don't think I have a video overview, but I have an audio overview.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, just for a second, your absolute top salesperson.
Right.
The one who holds, every single client quirk in their head. The one who knows every unwritten pricing discount.
All the operational shortcuts.
Exactly. All those little shortcuts. Imagine they just walked out the door and quit.
Yeah.
Right now. No notice.
It is a terrifying thought for most owners.
It really is. Because, you have to ask yourself, what percentage of your company's actual functional operational IQ just walked out into the park?
That is a 45-minute podcast that goes into why your company needs to get the information out of Bob and Mary and Joe's and Sally's head and into some type of knowledge base, right? For so long, we've relied on just trying to get them to write down their processes, and then they go in a binder, and then that binder collects dust, right? We've talked about this for so long. So finally, with AI and Notebook LM, we've been able to build a real framework and a real system for how to take that information and transfer that knowledge, extract the knowledge from people's heads and transfer it into a real company brain. And then you can use that information, that brain, to figure out, okay, now we know we need to automate this, or here's how we can do this process better. We can improve our processes, improve our systems, and make it all happen. So that's what I teach. But I got 45 minutes to listen to these two AI generated podcasters explain that to a business owner or to me, and I can share that, and I can do a lot of make other content with it. So Notebook LM uses Gemini. I think it's one of Gemini's and Google's greatest AI tools for organization, right? I'm still waiting for the day that you can nest your notebooks. I want to have a big notebook, and then I want to put I could say, this is my company notebook, and then inside I have my 6 departments, my HR, operations, marketing, sales, leadership, and research, right? And you put those under a notebook, but for right now you have to have 6 separate notebooks. I can't wait for them to group them. I'm sure it's coming soon. All right. Any other questions? Do I still have you guys with me? Haven't had a comment in 18 minutes. I think you guys all left or fell asleep or walked away and got coffee or went to the bathroom. Or just got bored this week. But guys, I love using Gemini. I think what Google is doing is really, they're making it hard for me to want to go and use other tools except for Claude. Okay, good. Thanks, D. Thanks for letting me know you're still here. Love you guys. All right. Awesome. Love you guys. Perfect. So yeah, happy to answer any final questions, but I really mean that. I still love Claude. And I love Gemini. When I think about it, though, I'm like, what tools am I using every single day? I like Perplexity still because that gives me the current news that I need. But I also have Google going out, Gemini going out and bringing in that new news that's pertinent to me. Perplexity can do that as well. But like I said, all these other tools can do things. Google is saying, oh, that's a good feature from that tool. Let's build one ourselves. And they have the deep pockets to do it. And if you're afraid about Google knowing too much about you, it's too late. They already know everything. Do you use Chrome? They know everything. They know where you're searching. They know everything. So if anybody's, I often wonder why everybody even thinks about privacy these days on the internet, and then they go they go post, something else about yesterday on Facebook. All of these things are like publicly searchable. The privacy I concern myself with is confidentiality. That's the difference. Privacy is non-existent. Nobody's really private anymore, right? Don't go online. David, give me one simple thing I can use Notebook to improve my business with Notebook. Oh my gosh. One? You want me to just give you one or 100? I actually have 50. I have a document. We can send you a PDF of 50, right? That is business agnostic. Perfect. So create a infographic from your content, from your documents, and put it in your email newsletter and on all of your social channels to market your business. Bring on a new salesperson in your organization and give them access to a notebook that has all of the top salespeople's sales calls and sales transcripts loaded in as sources, and give them this on their first day so that they can query how that top salesperson would train them on what to say to all these different objections. That's number 2. Number 3, you put all your HR documents, all of your new employee onboarding, your company handbook, your playbooks, everything a new employee, your benefit documents, put all of that in your HR notebook. Give that new employee on day 1 access to that notebook so they can chat with the HR notebook, but also give them an audio overview they can listen to on their way to their first day and second day and third day. It's an audio overview podcast of what to expect and how to navigate their first week at the new company. There's 3. If you want, we have 50 in a document. Heather, I think we have to pull that. I don't know if we'll get it right now, but those are 3 ways that can definitely help a business that's business agnostic. And I can just go on and on and on about it. Take a sales call, or not a sales call, take a client meeting transcript and turn it into a report or a brief that you can send out to whoever needs to see it or hear it. That's 4. I'll stop there for now. So yeah, Avanice said, David, save time and money. Yeah. Notebook LM is the place to have everything. If you're using Google, right? If you're not using Google, I tell people you're better off like building a system out in Claude, or better yet, there's other tools that you can have access to that can do this. But I have not seen anything to the level of Notebook LM. It's why I've kind of moved my whole career towards Notebook LM and with that. Let's see. On my work line, and called me twice and left messages. Must be important. Well, that being said, we're going to wrap up for today. I hope that you guys have learned a little bit about Gemini and what you can do with it. And I hope that, do I offer one-on-one training on this? Absolutely. Absolutely. David, I'll get you that link and that document. I just have to grab it. I don't know if I posted it yet. We just made it a couple weeks ago. Kira Paris. Yeah, Kira, we do have one-on-one training that we can do. Every other month, we have a brain dump session, which is really a small group where we'll work through the notebooks. We'll start helping you build a notebook for your business. We'll tell you how they're structured. I do have a course that you can get for $47. The brain dump session is $97, but it's really like 2 to 3 hours of us working together in a Google Meet, like face-to-face virtually. There's the brain dump session link right there. RC just put it in the chat. If you guys want to sign up for our next brain dump session in June, I believe it's the 21st or 23rd. I'm not quite sure. It's on the website. Go and grab it. And yeah, we did one about a month ago. It was our first one, and we had one customer show up, and he got me for over 2 hours. And we literally went through and got him into Notebook LM and started building his first notebook. So yeah, and if you want one-to-one training, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. I don't have anything on my website that you're going to be able to buy that's going to get you one-to-one. You could book a one-to-one call with me for strategy, systems, and consulting. And I do have a rate associated with that. So No, you don't want to do the group. Okay. Yeah, we can send you the link to that. If you don't want to do the group, we can do a one-to-one consulting call, and you can buy it by the hour. So happy to share that with you. If you want, maybe RC can get a hold of you, or if you want to email, just email j@jvimobile.com. That'll be okay. And I'll put it in somebody put it in the chat for me, please. And then we'll send you that calendar link, and you can book it and pay right online when you book the appointment. All right, there it is. Thanks, Heather. Yep, j@jvimobile.com. And then if you just email me and say, hey, I want to book a 1 hour, training or consulting call on this. And if you want to do more than that, just talk to me and I can just invoice it to you. But just email me what you're looking for. All right, that's fine, Kira. Yeah, when you're done driving, perfect. All right, guys. Well, listen, I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I know we got a little bit of a long weekend coming in. RC is now posting the link to next Friday. Chat agents, specifically voice and chat. We did this one other time, but things have really moved in a really cool direction. I'm going to preface this too. Next week, we are going to be working inside of JourneyBuilder. So all these other things I've been showing you and saying, hey, there's some paid features and free features, and here's a new tool. And if this, you can see this working in your business, you do this. Hey, Avanice, thank you. Value Friday. Great. I do want to say that I always talk about JourneyBuilder. And my feeling is if I'm going to do a free webinar for an hour and a half every single Friday, and you guys don't have to pay to come to that, then I always appreciate the grace and the willingness to accept that we have a business to run, and our product is consulting and JourneyBuilder, right? So JourneyBuilder is our all-in-one AI-powered operating system. So every once in a while, my webinar is going to show you very cool things that you can do inside of JourneyBuilder. JourneyBuilder is a subscription that you would have to pay for. But what I promised you is that everything I show you inside of JourneyBuilder, you can get a 30-day free trial to JourneyBuilder. And then it's $97 a month or higher, depending on how much help you need from us after that, right? So if next week when I talk about JourneyBuilder, yes, it's a free webinar. Yes, I'm talking about a paid product, but I'm showing you what's available in it, and I will give you the chance to try it to see if you like it and if it'll work in your business, and then you can see all the other things that it does once you're in there. We built websites. I built a website from 34,000 feet in 10 minutes for a Greensboro landscaping company, fictitious Greensboro landscaping company, but I did it, and I showed you how that was done in JourneyBuilder. We have somebody who's on a lot of these calls now who actually is now a subscriber to JourneyBuilder, and she built a website. Avanice loves JourneyBuilder, right? So it is our tool. So just give me the grace that, I usually don't have a big pitch or anything to sell you on these calls. But just know that when I go into JourneyBuilder, and you're like, well, how do I get JourneyBuilder for free? You don't, but you'll get it for 30 days for free if you want to try it yourself and play along at home. And if you don't like it after 29 days, just make sure that you cancel before we charge you automatically at the day 30 point. Fair? Cool. I figure it's pretty fair. I'm going to try to give you as much value as I can. So patronize me with at least trying a 30-day subscription to JourneyBuilder, please. All right. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. There you go. There's the replay link. Somebody was asking about it. I think Sarah might have been. So if you go to the replays page on the site, there you go. There's the link. Browse around the site. And next week we'll be back on StreamYard. 2 weeks from now might be a recorded, but I'll record a fresh one for you and give it to you. And then we may move to Google Meet after that. So just keep listening to or keep looking out for our emails and join our Facebook group. And I'll see you next week. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Take care.